hope that you are having a great day. I actually had to write this all down because I'm nervous to share these things with you because I don't actually consider myself an expert by any means at all. But I have experience, and I just really wanted to share some of the things that have been on my heart with you. So lately I seem to be connecting with more and more women who are struggling in their marriages in some way. And I don't honestly believe that these connections are an accident. Mostly because since my husband and I have, restored our marriage, I've felt like these pulls on my heart to start sharing our story more. Because when I connect with you over the struggles that you are going through in your marriages, I just can feel God moving in me and just pulling on my heartstrings to talk more about the message of hope that I think that our story can bring to you. So I'm going to start here. It's the first time I've ever done this, so I'm really nervous. But I hope that something that I say here resonates with you and helps you. And if it does, I really hope that you tell me. Or if it doesn't even, or if there's something else that you need help with or anything like that, I really hope that you share it with me. So my husband and I are approaching 12 years in our relationship, not married, but of being in a relationship together. And we've been through some really, really tough trials. I typically refer to this whenever I post about it as the darkness, because that's literally what my life was like at that time. It was really, really dark. And so in James 1, verses 2-4, we learn that we're meant to look at our trials as like joyful and a time of praise. But at full disclosure, I did not see it that way at all. It reads, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." But I think sometimes when you're in the darkness, it can be really, really hard to feel that joy that we're supposed to be feeling. And I can tell you that when I was knee deep in the darkness, I didn't feel joy at all. There was nothing joyful about it. But when I look back at everything, even the worst parts of everything that we went through, I can see the work that God was doing. And I can tell you some of the things that held me together when I was in it, and I hope that this helps you. The tears were not on my list, in case you're wondering. But prayer changed everything for me. It just did. And one of the things that I prayed was, change me. And I know that probably sounds so crazy, but I knew that I needed to change because of the way that I saw my husband, because I hated him for a long time and I resented him. And I knew that I needed to focus on who I needed to be and who God needed me to be. And I needed to see my husband differently. And I needed to see things differently. So I knew that something inside of me really just needed to change. So the first thing that I prayed consistently was, change me. I didn't know what that was going to look like. I didn't know anything. I just knew that something had to change inside of me, right? And then another thing is that I prayed a staple prayer. So mine was Ezekiel 36:26. I didn't actually write this one down, but I prayed for my husband for God to turn his heart of stone into a heart of flesh. But pick a Bible verse that speaks to you and pray over it. every day, journal it, write it down, put it in a post-it note somewhere in your house, whatever it is that you need to do to see that prayer and that Bible verse. Just pray over it. And pray, the other thing I can tell you is pray that you're strong enough to hear God when he speaks to you, because it was really hard for me to listen to God when I was in the darkness. And I think the decisions that we feel God pulling us to, I think sometimes they can be really, really scary. It was for me. It was almost like God was pulling me to do something that I couldn't do, but I knew I needed to because the signs were all there. But when I actually listened to God, and I listened to those, I call them giant neon signs because it's literally what they were, that's when everything changed. It was like as soon as I crossed that border of listening to God when he was speaking to me and telling me exactly what I needed to do, even though I was afraid to do it, that's when everything changed. Everything changed. The light started to shine in that darkness. And you know, if you got this far, thank you. But if you're watching right now, I mean, I don't know the details of everything that you're going through or what that path might look for you right now. I don't know if it's your marriage that you're struggling with or if it's something else that you just need hope. I know this with my whole heart, that God is listening to you. I know that it's really, really hard to know that, but I know that God is listening to you. I know that he hears every single cry that you have for him. And I know that the struggles you're working through right now, he knows those and he hears you. I know he does, because when I think about everything, I mean, I was in the fetal position on the floor in the bathroom, crying and screaming out to God to hear my prayers. And while it was so dark, you guys, it was horrible, I know that God was there, even though I didn't see him at the time. And I hope so much that you know this too. And I thank you for getting this far. Thank you for listening. And if this helped, if anything, please tell me. If there's anything else that you want to know, anything you need to hear, tell me. Because I don't know what this is going to do. I don't know if this even speaks to you or not, but I felt God pulling me to share some of this with you today. So I hope that it helped, and I hope that you'll all have a really fantastic day.